All right, welcome back to the Run.down. Last regular season game. Knicks lose 141 to 136 to the Pacers at home. This game literally meant nothing. I was falling asleep watching this game, so you will not get pristine analysis as you know. I don't even know if that's what you're expecting today. But yeah, I'll just go through the box score real quickly. Manuel quickly, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Quentin Grimes, 22 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Mitch Robinson, 9 points, 19 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 7 blocks. Another insane stat line from him. Obi Toppin, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. RJ Barrett, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. And he hit a 3 pointer today. So whoop de doo. Um,
Whoa.
off the bench, you had Josh Hart, 8, 2, and 5. No, that's oh, wow, wrong stat line. Isaiah Hartenstein, 8, 2, and 5, and 1 steal. Josh Hart, 10, 11, and 4, 1 steal, 1 block. Made sure to get ejected so he could leave the game early. I do not blame him for that. But yeah, that kind of is how the last day of the regular season goes for the Knicks. Um, yeah, time for playoffs. Knicks will have about like what till the weekend, I believe, or at least a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. About
Um,
about a week.
about a week to prepare for Cleveland. About a week for our guys to get decent rest. Um, hopefully, Julius Randle comes back from the ankle injury without missing a
He,
beat.
he wasn't wearing a boot, so that looks promising.
That definitely does look promising. But yeah, I mean, Therese, I don't know how you want to talk about this game, but
There's nothing to talk about, bro. They did not care. I mean, I guess we could talk about Obi. I think he had a pretty strong game. Another Mister April, uh, 13 and 24 from the field, 5 to 10 from three, 3 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, only 1 turnover. Just another strong game from him, doing a bit of everything. He was league on his transition as always. He was hitting his spot up threes, doing some stuff off the dribble with like getting into floater range. So like good to see him expanding his bag a bit, getting some reps in. I thought his defense was okay. Not like we really played defense in this game, but like I felt like his defense was okay. Like nothing that you're like, oh no, you're sabotaging the team. Yeah, that's kind of it. I liked his passing. I liked his swing passes, especially to Grimes. I guess we can start with Grimes next. 22 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 10 from three, 3 assists, no turnovers. Typical Grimes game. Hit some big shots, converted on his opportunities at the rim. He's just been on a tear the last 3 weeks, I want to say. Like since the first Miami game, he's just been on fire, and it's like sustained throughout the end of the season. He's hit 3 threes in I think 9 straight games. So good way to go into the playoffs. Again, 5 threes again tonight or today rather. It's weird saying today, but it's good to see him on form. I felt like his defense was good. I felt like they were calling a lot of fouls this game, which is really strange given the fact that it's the last game of the season. But I guess the refs wanted to get their whistles getting. Um, but otherwise, like really good game from him, really encouraging game from him, and very typical, like quickly, very typical Grimes game, just getting it done from the getting it done shooting wise, getting it done defensively, very good ball movement. Can't really complain there. Quickly struggled shooting from three, but he was great from two. 9 and 9 from the free throw line. Thank God, because my man has been missing a ton of free throws recently. So it's good to see him get back into the bag that we know he all could get back into. 2 steals, 7 assists, 9 rebounds. So all around good game from him. 5 turnovers. Definitely tried to get a bit fancy with the passing. Very ambitious, but makes sense given where he was, like given where this game was really. And it was like a lot of passings to like top in and quickly when like they just couldn't handle it right. So rough for him, but Otherwise, good game from him. Just wish he could hit a couple more threes, but like hard to really complain about anybody's performance this game. I really have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, strong showings. I mean, it's just good momentum. Like I've been saying the last couple of games, it's just really good momentum for the guys getting going into the postseason. You know, for them to get these reps, to get this rhythm. Obviously, the style of play is not going to continue to be the same once Brunson and Randall are back. Depending on how soon Randall gets back, at least, the style of play is going to change. Right now you're seeing a lot more ball movement, and Clyde mentioned that on the broadcast. He said when those two guys are out, the style of play is just naturally going to change to that. um and yeah, I mean, once those guys come back, it's going to be a different style of play. But it's just good that these guys have been able to get these reps, get this rhythm, get this confidence going into the postseason. um Guys like IQ and Obi, they played in the playoffs 2 years ago, but like they are drastically different players now than they were back
Yep.
then. And then you add in, Mitch, who's getting his first run at the postseason, Grimes, Josh Hart, all these guys getting their first run at the postseason. It's going to be very fun and very interesting to see how they all adjust to that as well, because we all know playoffs are totally different ball game, as we saw in 2021. Um, Once we got to the postseason, things just looked drastically different. Teams will defend your team differently. But yeah, I think our guys are ready for it.
Yep. These are just like the games to get them tuned up. Ultimately speaking, like they aren't really, they're pretty meaningless, but it's like good to see the guys get into rhythm. Good to see the guys establish rapport with each other. Good to see different looks, especially from like high usage for Obi, high usage for Quick, high usage for Grimes. RJ trying to integrate himself back after missing a couple games with his sickness. The shooting has been bad to say the least. I think the passing has been okay. I think the finishing has been solid. So you're hoping he can build off of those things. If he can convert those spot up opportunities, you have a chance to like really do something with him in the postseason. But we'll see what happens there. Yeah, like there's just really not a lot to talk about this game in terms of like this game specifically, because it was really just like everybody were just getting the numbers and getting their shots up.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been a perfect game to put parlay in for. Y'all know me. I'm always going to talk about the gambling side of it. Funny enough, FanDuel did not even put up anybody's lines for this game, so no one could bet anything on this game. And
Yeah,
and they probably knew. They probably knew because the last time, folks folks ran it up on them with
I
the
mean,
Obi, Quickly, Grimes, stats. So those three guys alone would have made people a lot of money today, and
I
FanDuel
mean,
just wasn't having that.
quickly and money is going to be a really sore topic today.
I
As
guess we can segue
what?
our way into the sixth man of the year. Odds have drastically shifted
It's Jover.
within the last 24 hours.
That's the last 24 hours. The last three. So
I
like
I, I
this
want to
morning, this
because like
morning
I
his
want to say
odds were
yesterday he was minus 280.
yeah. Yesterday quickly was minus 260, and now I think he's plus 440.
Insane, insane.
So all right, so gambling 101 from somebody who doesn't gamble. So if that the drastic odds in that shift, like usually you'd be like, okay, well Vegas is trying to make money back, so they're like making Brogdon's odds or so that way like quickly or making quickly's odds better so that way they try to gain some money back. But like if the odds shift that much, you have to assume that something got leaked. Um
Either that, they were paying attention to the social media and Boston fans crying the whole weekend.
Maybe, but like that drastic an odds shift is like you're basically saying that he's a damn near like lock.
Lock to win it at this
Yep.
point.
So
And it's
if
insane because nothing happened within the last
he didn't even play,
nothing happened on court for less like for such a drastic shift to happen like this. So
yeah, so nothing happened on court, which means it has to come from the ballots, which means that somebody somehow knows something, and that influenced the markets. So somebody must have put a ton of money on Brogdon when he was a plus, and then
And
Vegas
hedge
caught
their
a win.
bets.
Yep, and people hedge their bets on quickly. So maybe something happens with the markets where they stabilize out and quickly starts gaining more votes as I guess more votes trickle in. But I guess the initial first wave of votes that came out must have been like heavily Brogdon favored. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Anyways, there goes all that for all the Boston fans, claiming that big bad New York media bias, was gonna get Emmanuel Quickly Sixth Man of the Year. He was gonna rip it out of Malcolm Brogdon's hands, and all that other BS.
we'll see how the markets moves like into the morning, but like I feel like the damn presidential election with this shit. This is annoying. But yeah, so if that drastic of a shift means that like people no votes, which I think the votes are due today. So
Okay.
I'm surprised that people no votes. But like
I mean, only two.
yeah, I think according to the tracker that's been publicized, it was like Michael Pena and somebody else. And I think we know
And
like
Kurt
someone
Allen.
yeah, and we know Zach Lowe's voting quickly. We know Kevin O'Connor's voting quickly. Chris Herring is voting quickly as well.
It for me it feels like Quickly should win because like if all like the prominent like awards voters are voting him, I feel like most of the other voters would follow their lead because like they
And you
follow like the
yeah,
same line of thinking, or at least they look to those guys as like
yeah.
who like they look to them as the smarter reporters. So like if the smarter reporters are voting Quickly, I feel like that should be like enough for us to like have Quickly win it. But apparently Vegas knows something that we don't, or maybe Vegas is just like just messing with people, and
I get
maybe Quickly is gonna win it. But I don't know.
there's no money right now. Like because that quickly bet a lot of people took that quickly bet so high up that like Vegas is looking at like a huge ass deficit if it were to cash out. So they're trying to get people to hedge and they're trying to get people to like take the payout early. So that way, like if they're gonna sacrifice stuff, they're not gonna sacrifice as much as they normally would if people weren't hedging. So it's strange. It's strange. Of course, we don't know until the ballots are released. I do think that he's good for second, like guaranteed he's good for second. But like it would be weird if like with no he didn't play the last two games and the run that quickly's been on that somehow he doesn't get it. I mean, hell, I would argue quickly might win player of the week this week. Like he
Yeah,
might. So like,
it's insane. It's in
strange.
you know big bad Boston media. That's what I'm gonna complain. That's what I'm
Also,
gonna complain about.
the Cleveland fans and Boston fans have been hilarious talking about, oh, people want the Knicks to be good and people love the Knicks and like the media bias is favorite towards the Knicks dog. We have Stephen A. Smith pretending to be a Knicks fan and clouding us every chance he gets. Like, do people realize what they've been watching? The Knicks have been clowned for the last 20 years of my life. The Knicks have literally been a hot button for media scrutiny. Porzingis trade, you had Max Kellerman going on 3 years talking about how they got fleeced, and just recently people were just like, oh yeah, like the Knicks made out of it just fine. Hell, I don't even think Julius makes all NBA this year because he got hurt and he lost the last 5. He's not going to play the last 5 games. So like, dude, I'm just, I can. People are weird, man.
It is all very possible.
Also, no way, Dallas Mavericks are down 24 to the damn Spurs. It's 33-9 right now in the first quarter.
Well, they are doing exactly what they set out to do. Um, lose this game. So
Also, yeah, like also let's address that other thing because like the Mavericks, the NBA is opening up an investigation into the Mavericks Friday night game against the Chicago Bulls, where people will tell you, well, teams are tanking across the league, so why do the Mavs get investigated? Maybe because you pulled JaVale McGee, Markieff Morris, Luka Doncic, and Jaden Hardy all in the same game. Like, I think you could probably get away with it. It was like, okay, Markieff Morris and JaVale McGee. But once you pull Jaden Hardy, you're kind of just showing that you're trying to fix the match. Jaden Hardy has played 600 minutes in the NBA. He's your second round rookie. And like you would figure that he would be a pretty important piece of your team going forward.
And you'd want to give him this type of run right now.
especially if you're going to start him the next game anyway.
Yeah.
So clearly,
Very stupid by the Mavs.
yeah, like,
Don't even
and
know how to tank right. Like, just rule out everybody anyways from the jump and just sign guys off the street like Portland does.
yeah, like, so nothing like they arrested Josh Green. They arrested fucking like they had Luca playing the entire first quarter, then he gets pulled. They had Jaden Hardy resting. They had JaVale McGee resting. Markieff Morris resting, or rather, they pulled all those three guys. Like it was clearly them trying to like take the game. They weren't even running out of center towards the end of the game. You can say, oh well, the Bulls were taking two. The Bulls were still playing Vucevic. The Bulls were still playing Pat Will, and they played Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. So like those are guys in their playoff rotation. Of course, they rested their big guns, but like aside from DeRozan and Levine, everybody else played at least 15 minutes. And Vucevic played like what 27. Kobe White and Pat Williams were playing like 36 and 40 apiece. I don't think anybody on the Mavs played more than 33, and that was like Reggie Bullock and Justin Holiday. So like it was clear they were throwing the game. So we'll see what happens there. The investigation shouldn't be too long, given the fact that they were throwing the fucking game, and it was fairly obvious because Jason Kidd said it in his press conference that they were throwing the game, which makes it even funnier. But we'll see what happens there. Um, uh,
Wild. Wild, wild, wild. All right. All right, let's get into comments. Reading into comments early. There's nothing else to really talk about. We'll get into some playoff stuff, I guess, as the comments roll in. But we might do a more in-depth playoff preview live stream at a later date. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Nick's tape says can't wait to watch all our NBA guys play playoff basketball. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how things have changed. I mean, last time we were in the playoffs on the team were Randall, Quickly, Obi, RJ. Mitch was not healthy, so he didn't play in the series, um, which a lot of us believe played a pretty big role into why we lost. I think he would have helped with the Clint Capella issues and whatnot. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Julius plays in this. I guess sort of a different role this year in the playoffs. He's not necessarily going to be. He's not going to be the only featured guy. He has Jalen Brunson by his side, and he also has way more depth this year, so he doesn't have to really do it all. As he had to do in that Atlanta series. Like you have Quickly who's improved. You have even Obi now who's improved. Grimes. So he has all these other pieces that are surrounding him that he doesn't have to do so much. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how these guys adjust to this. And as I said earlier, all the guys that haven't played playoff basketball on this team, like Hart, and Mitch and Grimes, it's gonna be interesting to see how they adjust to playing playoff basketball as well.
Yep. Um, Yep, that's really it. It's just playoff basketball. It's good for the franchise, good for the team, good for us as the fans. It's good for the players as well because like you got to see what they're really made of, and I feel like this is the opponent that the Knicks have a chance against. If Randall plays, I feel like teams are fairly even. I feel like in some aspects the Cleveland is better. I feel like in some aspects the Knicks are better, and it feels like it's a series that could go the distance because these teams are so evenly matched. So it'll be good to see like the moments that these guys give off in the playoffs and like how they adjust to like those teams playing the same 9-man rotations that you're playing now, and how they adjust to like different playoff level defense and playoff level shot making. So very exciting, very good to see. Just gonna be some good. It's gonna be a good series either way. Hopefully we come out of it the victors, but it'll be good hoops, and that's all we want is good hoops.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to have playoff basketball at MSG.
Yep.
Nothing beats that in sports.
I wonder
All
what
right.
the chant would be this year, because like you can't say "fuck down up a Mitchell." That's just too many syllables.
I'm sure the fans will come up with something.
It'd be like a "Let's Go Yankees" chant or something. I don't know. Like, damn, like, Trey Young just has such a good ass name to like chant "fuck Trey Young" with. Just 3 syllables, simple. Like, they'll figure out something. I trust the New York Knicks faithful. They'll figure out something.
Yep, they always do. Mixtape also brings up, I honestly think RJ's playmaking over the past 2 games has been good. He only had 3 assists today, but he made some nice passes out of drives.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean, he generally does have better passing games when both Randall and Brunson are out. Just he gets a boat load more of touches. He gets a lot more of initiating reps. Um, and yeah, you're just hoping that this can translate to the playoffs because I feel like when they start to trap guys like Brunson and Randall, his ability to make things happen off of drives is going to matter a lot more than it does in the regular season. So, him getting these reps in these last 2 games um definitely will lend itself to hopefully some playoff success.
It's huge because like those are the reasons he's probably gonna be looking at when he's driving against guys like Mobley and Allen in the paint. So if you're able to make that quick reaction and pass out of those drives to the shooters that'll get into the corners for you, like you're gonna have Quick, you're gonna have Grimes. The way Obi's been shooting the last couple weeks, you're gonna have Obi. So like being able to make those reads, being able to pass out of those drives, is going to be huge for this team, and it's going to be huge for the chances at the playoffs. So, damn, Portland gave up 55 points in the first quarter. I love the last game of the season, dude.
Last game of the season is absolutely ridiculous.
Shit is always hilarious, dude. That's an NBA record, by the way. 55 points. Oh, it's because Steph's playing. That's why.
Yeah, Steph, Clay, Poole, they're all playing.
Right, because they haven't clinched yet.
Nope, they still situation between them, Clippers, Lakers, Pelicans, Timberwolves. It can all flip flop between those 5 teams, I think.
Oh, gonna be my team. Cannot be my team.
Yeah, my team is jeez, Mavs. What the hell?
Yeah, they
42 to
Frank
14? That's insane.
Frank Ntilikina is out here carrying. He got 6 points of 3 and 3 from shooting. Let's go, Frankie.
That is insane.
I guess we could talk about the Knicks signing Isaiah Roby today. That's not far deep. I'm not far deep. How much we're looking for content. So the Knicks signed Isaiah Roby. He played on my beloved San Antonio Spurs this season. Last season he played from Oklahoma City. I want to say he's more of like a tweener 4-5. If you guys have never watched him before, decent rebounder. He shot 44% last year on OKC. This season he shot around 30%, so he wasn't as good. But I feel like small sample size, so take that as you may. So he got signed for the rest of this season, and he has a non-guaranteed deal for next season. He made $400K just from getting a DNP this game, which is the life, by the way. Like, holy shit, that's the life. But I would not worry about him being on the team. I doubt that's going to be the case. What the Knicks essentially did was what they did with the Daquan Jeffries contract. If you guys remember, a few weeks beforehand, they converted Daquan Jeffries from a 10-day contract to a standard contract, and they gave him basically the rest of this year guaranteed and then a non-guaranteed option for next year. And what the Knicks are essentially doing is giving themselves more salary to have for trade. So I think Roby's deal should be about $2.2 million. Same thing with Jeffries. So that's $4.4 million you can add to Evan Fournier's deal, which is 18.8 if I'm doing my math correctly. So 18.8 to 4.4, so that's about $24 million, $25 million you can have in trade. The good thing about that is that you can have, I think, 20 players on the roster prior to training camp starting. So the Knicks could essentially just have that salary there for free. They can make an off-season trade maybe at the draft or when the new league year starts, and then be able to get some more players or get a higher tier player for next season. We don't know what it is. We don't know what they're going to do. It may not even be Evan Fournier. They may take like one of our smaller salaries and cobble it along with those two other salaries and get like maybe a $12 million player or $15 million player. So there are options, but ultimately speaking, it's just a way to have options. If those guys on the team come training camp, I would be very surprised. But yeah, ultimately speaking, it's just more avenues. Brock Aller's just doing Brock Aller things. Do not look too deep into it. And if Isaiah Roby is starting in game 79 next year, you can call me an idiot. But I don't think that'll be the case. So
Shout out Isaiah Roby.
yeah, my man is
Once the
getting a
neck, always
bag.
the neck.
My man got a bag to get his league fit off. Crazy. I don't even know if he was in the building. I don't even think he
I
was in
don't
the
think
arena.
he was there.
My
I
man,
don't.
they just wired the money and told him to stay home.
He'll probably be sitting, in street clothes during the playoffs, like
Also,
the
let me say
NBA
this
host is sitting.
before people get crazy. He's not playoff eligible.
Yeah, he's
So
not. He was on a team past March 1st.
yeah, so it's not because Randall was hurt or whatever.
Yeah, they're not getting any insurance depth there. No.
Yeah, like
Like the
there's just
Lakers did today.
Tristan Thompson being in the NBA is wild. That man was on ESPN last week. What?
It's
Who
that
gave Tristan Thompson a bag?
that's that LeBron pull, man. LeBron needs his signature cheerleader on the bench this year. He thinks he's
Give
going on
J.R.
another
Smith it.
deep run. So he's got to have his one of his signature guys on the bench.
Hey man, listen. If you needed a cheerleader, J.R. Smith was right there. Like, come on now.
J.R. Smith is playing golf in college.
You think he would have quit for the
Maybe,
NBA for that NBA money? He would have quit.
maybe, maybe. I love how
What
Dave
about like
McMenamin phrased it as they signed them for playoff. They signed Shaq Harrison and Tristan Thompson for playoff depth. Like, okay, I'm sure they're gonna touch the court unless it's like
that?
garbage minutes.
That is nasty pandering. LeBron, please give me more scoops. That's what that tweet said, bro. Please don't cut me out of the circle.
It's insane. All right. JL also says we should be thankful we never have to watch Evan Fournier play ball again.
Never say never. Yeah, I
All
said the
right.
same. We said the same thing about Alfred Payton, and he got re-signed. Like, listen here, until that contract's off the team, I'm assuming he's on the team. Shit.
I don't think we have to see him play ball again this year.
Okay, that's a better. Unless it's a blowout.
Hey, if there's a blowout and Evan Fournier is getting minutes, I am more than happy to see Evan Fournier play. What other than that, this year I hope we never have to see Evan Fournier play basketball again because my God, he is awful.
He'll be cooking the World Cup though. We're gonna be like, what could have been? My man goes off when he sees them French colors on him. He goes off. Turns into Larry Bird.
I don't get it. I don't get it with these guys when they play for their country, but
Yeah, I mean, then they'll have like Wendy and shit. So France is coming. Uh, yeah, but Evan Fournier, not a good season after breaking the Knicks 3-point mark last year. Did not come anywhere close to that this year. Got benched in December and kind of just became a spot minutes guy for the rest of the season. He had one game against the Sixers, which was huge for us securing the fifth seed. So, shout out to Evan Fournier lighting it up against the Sixers that one game and playfully calling it a one-night stand because he knew.
he gave it all he had.
Yeah, that was the turning back the hands of time. That's fucking Kurt Thomas in Utah. That was his Kurt Thomas in Utah game, and it was very appreciated and very necessary for that time and for the team. But yeah, do I think Evan Fournier will be in the roster next year? I think if the Knicks can find a trade partner, maybe even float around one of those like protected picks, maybe. But like I don't know. I don't know because like I don't know what the Knicks are planning, and it feels good to say that. I'm glad I don't know what the Knicks are planning.
Yeah. Knicks tape says we don't know how Julius is going to look coming off an injury, so hopefully he does more deferring than not to start the series. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, can't guarantee it, but
Yeah,
I would definitely like to see him defer a little bit more. Maybe use him as a decoy. I don't know how much you can use someone like him as a decoy because he's not someone that's like really like when I think of like decoys, I think of like how teams like run stuff for Steph, or at least they look like they're gonna run stuff for Steph because he's more of an off-ball guy. But hey, if the Knicks can be creative to that degree, and make Julius a decoy, if he's not all himself, I'm all for it. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, depends on how the ankle's feeling, depends on his conditioning at that point. He won't have game time for like the last 3 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how they utilize him. It'll be interesting to see how he utilizes himself. Is he looking for more of a shot? Is he looking to do more stuff as a passer and as a rebounder and as a defender? To be determined. But that's all up to Tibbs and that's all up to Randall, really. So we will see.
Nick Tape also believes that we can steal a game in Cleveland even without Julius playing those games. I think that's possible. That's not too crazy.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like it comes down to the Cavs' depth, um, and they don't really have any. I think the thing with the Cavs' depth is like I could expect three of those guys to probably go 40 minutes a night. Like I think Donovan would just easily go play like 40, 42. I can see Garland going around 42 as well. I could see Allen around like 40 and Mobley around like 38 or something. Like those guys do not have any depth, and they really don't have any options to like on their team to get depth unless you want to trust Danny Green coming up an ACL tear at 35 years old. I'm skeptical about that. So like you're looking at realistically they're running like a 6-man rotation. It'll be like their starting five and Isaac Okoro who's coming off of a bruised knee. So it'll be that starting five plus Karis Lillard and maybe like a sprinkle of Shetty Osman and Ricky Rubio to like spell dudes. Yeah. So it'll be rough for them to like get depth, but like their core four is so potent that like they can absolutely still give us a contest. But I think the Knicks depth is so much better than those guys that like not being able to run Brunson for like 7 minutes would be huge. So like if you could keep Brunson around like 36 instead of having him go to 42, that's going to be huge. He's also coming off some rest as well, which is good for him. So I don't think he will have played in like a week. Yeah, he hasn't played since last Sunday. So it'll be 2 weeks since he's played. It'll be 3 weeks since Randall played. So it'll be really interesting to see like how they look. Game one, I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty like tentative and they're both feeling each other out. But in a tentative game like that, I can see a universe where like the Knicks bench is still kind of rolling from last week. Quickly goes off. Obi gets a couple buckets in there. Josh Hart is having a really good game defensively, and Quentin Grimes is just like still scorching. So I can see them going off and maybe winning a game. I think where I'm at in the series is like the Knicks' depth can win them a game, and I think Brunson will win them a game as well. So it comes down to can maybe Julius win you a game? Um, can you just get an off night for Donovan Mitchell to capitalize? But I do think the Knicks are capable of winning 2 series in this game, guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed, but I think there's a really good chance they can win 2 series in this game because Jalen Brunson just goes off for like 35, 37, 40. And then the Knicks' depth just like outscores the Cleveland depth. And they just cannot steamroll them in those minutes. And the Knicks are able to capitalize off that. So we'll see where the other victories come from.
Yeah. Um I mean, Jalen Brunson without, a top scoring option going against Donovan Mitchell. Where have we seen this before? Um, Last year's playoffs, of course. So yeah, I mean, I think Jalen Brunson, he's shown in the past, like literally against this same opponent, or not the same opponent, but like the same, top level scorer in Donovan Mitchell, that he can, go toe to toe for him and win a game being shorthanded. Um, so yeah, there's a blueprint right there for the Knicks to look at versus a Donovan Mitchell team with a rim protector. Not the same level as Rudy Gobert, of course, but same type of vibes
Yeah.
going into that matchup.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I also think it's just be a matter of like being able to score more than the Cavs. Obvious, you want to score more points than the opponent, so you win. But like, I do think ultimately the Cavs have a barometer of how many points they can score. like because their offense, despite the fact their offensive rating is high, like they really can't shoot, and they only have scoring out of like maybe 5 guys, and if those other guys aren't playing many minutes, then like you're basically looking at Mitchell, you're looking at Garland to a lesser extent, Mobley, Allen, and LeVert to kind of carry your scoring load. I don't know if them being so top heavy is going to be beneficial for them scoring wise. You have to hold their defense holds up, but I feel like they're either going to sacrifice defensive spacing. So like maybe they have a better defense, but they won't be able to score as much, or maybe they have better scoring, but their defense is porous, depending on what they do with their big situation. So it'll be a very interesting dynamic to follow throughout this playoff series.
Definitely.
There's Obi talking chat. Okay. Obi was finished and couldn't contribute. Meanwhile, Clyde says he's ascending and made the quantum leap. I mean, I think Obi Toppin is a better player than he was 3 weeks ago. I feel like that's a pretty good thing to say. I do think he's added incrementally to his offensive arsenal. I think he's doing more stuff off the dribble. He's doing more stuff like getting into the paint, getting into that floater area. Still, a lot of his baskets are transition baskets and spot up 3-point attempts, which is what he was doing all season. He's just converting on them now because I feel like he's getting into more of a rhythm compared to what he was able to do when Julius was playing around 34 to 37 minutes a night. So it's good for him to establish that rhythm. It's good for him to like kind of play that role that Tibbs idealized for him and make it work. I think he's been able to flash more of his passing. That's the big thing for me. His passing has been popping more because he's just able to read the floor quicker. He's able to make that swing pass that Jeff says to Grimes or IQ in the corner. And that's been really beneficial to the team's offense. And to realistically, like our assist total has been higher in these couple of games because Obi Toppin is doing a lot as a ball mover and as a play finisher. I question how much he's able to do that in the minutes he's going to get the series. I expect him to get more minutes to start the series because Randall's still going to be working his way back from injury. So I think there won't be a minutes restriction, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the first game or two of the series, Tibbs tries to ease him back in. So maybe 30 to 32 minutes, and then you tell Obi Toppin, okay, you have 16 to 18 minutes. Like, those are regular rotation minutes. Those aren't, like, that's not an insignificant number. So, like, he should be able to do something within those, like, 16 to 18 minutes, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I envision for, Obi heading into the playoffs. I mean, he's shown that he can produce offensively and not be such a liability defensively to be able to spell Randall some minutes. So to Jordan Bub's question, I don't think Randall will be on a game 1 minutes restriction, but he won't have to play as much if Obi's showing that he can, like, grant him some rest in those games. And we'll just see how that goes going forward.
Yeah.
Jordan Bub also asked, would you trade Obi or keep him on the roster for next season? What do you perceive Obi trade value is around the league? Tyrese,
I just trade him. Like,
yeah.
I trade him because realistically, like, his value isn't going to be higher
than it is right now.
Yeah. Like, his value is not going to be higher. He's had like a bunch of 30 pieces. Like, I think the last week he's been averaging, like 32, 34. I think a couple games before that. I think he might have had another 20-point game before that as well. Yeah, the last 4 games, 21, 32, 10, 34. So he might win player of the week. Shit. Shit, he might. He's been scorching. But, like, yeah, I would probably just do it. Mostly because, like, the Knicks don't have a first-round pick in this draft currently, and I feel like Obi Toppin can probably get you a mid to late first. I would prioritize that. And plus, like, you're not re-signing him. Like, they're not going to re-sign him. It's very clear that, like, financially it makes no sense for the Knicks because you have to re-sign quickly. You're going to re-sign Hart. You have to think about Grimes' extension as well. You already have RJ Barrett and Mitch extended. You have Brunson and Randall on their contracts. So, like, and Hart is going to need an extension next all season too if he decides to stay in the team. So it's a situation where it's like there's just not enough money for him left in the proverbial budget. Yes, they can go over with his bird rights, but do you want to go into the tax for Obi Toppin? I'm skeptical about that. And ultimately speaking, if you're able to cash out his value as like a first round pick, then like you feel good about it. And ultimately speaking, you can get a backup for Julius Randle who could play that 15-minute a night role fairly easily. Um, and plus, you're gonna have the Mavs pick next year as well because of the Mavs blatant and shameless tanking. So
Well,
okay, unless Adam Silver wants to put in the call.
Adam Silver has balls. If he has balls and wants to, actually take away something of value from the Mavs, take away the protections off the pick, jump the pick, so that's even a bigger fu to Mark Cuban, and bless the Knicks with like a top 4 pick that they can use to either trade or
We get
draft.
one.
I don't know.
We get Wemby after a playoff run.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over.
I'll tell you, Randall, yo, you like Phoenix, dog? Like it's over. It's over. Give me Wemby. Give me Wemby. But like,
Adam
wishful
Silver don't
thinking.
got balls though, so that's an alternate reality we living in where Adam Silver wants to be a man and put down the iron fist on Mark Cuban, but
I don't know, man. That karma be hitting different. That karma do be hitting different. The way they've been tanking these last 2 games.
I don't know. I I I,
Ah,
I wouldn't complain. I would not complain about it.
true. But like, yeah, I think you could probably get a mid to late first for him. Just quick look at Tankathon, kind of see where the picks might line up. Uh, I think you can get that 25th pick for Obi from Cleveland that Indiana has. I think maybe 27 from Charlotte. Uh, I don't really see you getting much higher than that. But ultimately speaking, if you manage to like trade Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, sorry, Obi Toppin, Cam Reddish, and your first round pick for Josh Hart and the ability to move 2 spots down, essentially, like I feel that's a pretty wash of a trade. Um, and plus, pick 25 is blessed, as we know. So
It,
getting pick 25 would be good.
that is the Knicks' sweet spot right there, in the draft. So who
We don't play
knows?
about pick 25.
No, we do not. Jordan Bug asks, who is going to get more minutes in the first round series, Obi or RJ?
It'll be RJ because Obi Toppin they can't play with anybody else on the team.
True.
Even if RJ
It would
stinks
be
it up,
hilarious though if Obi ended up getting more minutes than him.
I agree. But like, even if Obi stinks it up,
Like
like I just can't see that.
Thibs is like so tired of like RJ just like bricking layups or whatever, or like just like turning the ball. He's like, F it. Obi at the 3.
Obi.
Obi at the 3. Screw it.
If he runs Obi at the 3 in a playoff scenario, my man is throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. That would be that would make my brain
We'd have
hurt.
to be down like 3-1, and like he is just like desperate.
Yeah, like it would have to be getting ugly for that to happen. And I don't know if that's. I don't even think Tips himself can like convince himself to do that. I feel like Tips would have an aneurysm of the court. Like subbing for RJ Barrett and Obi Toppin with Julius on the court, he's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be like, Leon, what are we doing? What are you doing? Like, so yeah, I just think it'll just be RJ. By
Yeah, I think it's
default.
RJ by default. Yeah, by default.
But I wouldn't be surprised if both of them play like sub 25 minutes in the series. Well, I think Obi Toppin would be like around 14, and I can see like RJ being at like 22. So if he's not gonna shoot, then like RJ's like role in the offense just gets so murky. Cause you're just like, how do you realistically play this guy? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I hope he's good. For my sake, I hope he's good.
I mean, for the team's sake, I hope he's good.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
If he's good, then like
we're winning the series.
yeah, we're winning the series. But
Like
if he's
that's the
bad,
big. I think that's the biggest X factor right there. Besides like depth and everything else, is like if RJ just like plays smart and within himself, and he's playing good, then the team wins this series.
yeah. But if he's just going to dribble off of his dick and act like he's a point guard and fuck shit up, then
And break threes and stuff like that, and not make smart passes out of drives, then yeah, it's gonna look really bad.
yeah.
Um, All right. Next tape also brings up there's still a 20% chance that the Mavs pick gets jumped. I think. It depends. I don't know, cause like I feel better about like the Mavs pick getting jumped, depending on who are the teams that are like behind them and like how I feel their vibes are with Adam Silver. So like,
Oklahoma City.
so yeah, exactly. Oklahoma City. If Oklahoma City loses in the play-in and then they're behind the Mavs in the lotto, I feel very confident about them jumping the Mavs in the lottery.
Yeah.
Bulls,
Yeah,
I don't
like
think Bulls have good vibes with Adam Silver. They don't
they
seem like
jumped.
a team
They
that
jumped once though. They jumped for
they
Pat
did.
Will. Yeah,
They
they jumped for
yep,
Pat
like for
Will.
Pat Will and then like so like Adam Silver's gonna see. All right, I gave you guys a chance and you took Patrick Williams at 4. Like I'm
Yeah,
not doing that
like
again
you
for y'all.
needed like the Lakers and like you needed the Lakers in New Orleans to like get in that lottery.
Yeah.
No,
Then
Toronto.
then
Toronto has
we're
good vibes.
talking.
Toronto has good vibes. You know, Adam Silver loves the international
He
market.
does. He does. He will
Um,
definitely bless the Raptors
Minnesota.
with
Minnesota's a good. They get dumb lottery luck all the time.
of course, always. They got dumb lottery luck for Anthony Edwards, didn't they?
Exactly. They were supposed to give up that pick, and I think it could be in the next year. So I mean, like behind is Oklahoma City, is Minnesota's, Toronto, Chicago's, Orlando's had a couple. I know it'd be Orlando's pick. Yeah, yeah, we got a chance. We got a chance.
I mean, hey, if anyone's listening, I know there's like 12 viewers right now, and I don't blame y'all. But if anyone's watching right now, there is a chance that depending on the teams behind Dallas, who's got better favor with Adam Silver right now, it's not Mark Cuban. I'll tell you that. Adam Silver
True,
does not
true,
bangs with Mark Cuban right
true.
now, so he will not bless him with that lottery luck.
Plus they already said they're gonna trade it. So like you go and disrespect the pick like that.
Yeah, like you already like. I'm
Hey, hey,
just
hey, yo, Adam Silver. He's saying that you giving him a lottery pick and he calling you pussy.
if that was me,
I wouldn't take that disrespect
if
personally.
that was me, I
Personally,
would have let that happen. If that was
right?
me,
They already they planned it with the pick and didn't even get the pick yet, bro. All I'm saying is we ain't never
they
ever did
already
that.
saying like you a bitch, like straight like that.
Yeah, they said that they ain't scared of you. They said they ain't worried. You ain't stressing them. They already get Christian Wood out on the street.
Yeah, they already making off season plans.
Mark
Like
Mark
you gave
Cuban
them
does.
shit.
Mark Cuban already got fined for tanking once. He calling you pussy. He said his check long. He said he got plenty money, bro. All I'm saying is like,
If that was me, I wouldn't take that type of disrespect. That's all I'm saying.
but we'll see. We'll see what kind of man Adam Silver is.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But if his track record, you know, says anything, he's a bitch. So he'll still give it to them. But I also it's your time to prove everyone wrong, man. It's your time. I don't know. I don't know if you got it like that.
Last game of the season got people fighting. Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert are fighting on the bench.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, they are like literally fighting for like a playoff seed though. So I do understand that.
Ah,
I get it. I get it.
I get it. I get it. It's just hilarious, dog. Oh man. Last game of the season is just the vibes are just weird. It's a weird ass vibes.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Rudy Gobert's heading back to the locker room now because of this.
Damn, he beat his ass. He slept him. Stop.
Great vibes. Great vibes. Oh. Oh. Oh, I didn't see the video. I'm seeing the video now. I didn't know
Oh,
they was hitting each other.
they got video. Oh.
They was hitting each other.
Oh. He said, "Wee motherfucker."
Yeah, like Rudy
Oh.
Gobert slapped him.
Ooh.
Oh, Kyle, so you gonna take that, bro? I wouldn't let Rudy Gobert slap me. I don't know. He called you a bitch. Like that was me.
In two different languages, mind you.
I wouldn't let that happen.
I let a man bitch be like that. Like, come on. What happened to sport means to know and love? All I'm saying is Donovan Mitchell was here and he called you a bitch. You would have swung back. You swing it back on Kai Anderson? I don't know.
All right, Jordan Bub asked this question: what advantages can the Cavs exploit against the Knicks? How can the Knicks minimize their weaknesses?
I I mean, the big advantage is just like, or the big advantage is the fact that the Cavs don't have versatility and the Cavs don't have any wing depth. So like, it comes down to RJ Barrett being good at basketball. Because if RJ Barrett can get it going in that series, even for like a game or two, they have
Uh,
nobody they can put on him to stop him. And if you're
yeah,
gonna use
he's
Mobley,
driving through Karis LeVert and like,
yeah.
and they're not putting Okoro on him because they're putting Okoro on Brunson, so that like gives you one less swing defender on RJ.
Like if he can shoot 35% from three, finish at the rim, pass out of his drives, he is such a game breaker for that team because like they don't have to wait, they don't have a way to stop him unless they want to give up one of their primary defenders, and then you're just letting Brunson go off.
Yeah, it's like RJ has to take advantage of when he has Chetty Osman on him, Ricky Rubio, Karis LeVert. Those guys, they should not be able to guard him. They shouldn't. And the fact that they look like they were able to, and they gave him such a hard time in that last Cavs matchup, you're hoping that it was just the bubble guts um, that was emerging in RJ's system that hindered him that game. Um, but you're hoping that he can do better against those guys because I mean he got stuffed by Dean Wade in that game and it did not look good. So he's got to have some more lift. He's got to be more explosive. He's got to be um, more assertive in those matchups against those guys because the Cavs are going to throw those guys at him and they're probably going to be sagging off of him too. As you saw in that Pelicans game, a lot of times guys are just like, all right, RJ, well, you can take that three. I am good with that. Like, so like he's got to be able to like willing to make teams pay for that. Um, and yeah, that's what it's really going to come down to, I think. As far as advantages the Cavs can exploit against the Knicks, I think it's really just that it's RJ because like I tweeted out, I think the Cavs are going to guard him like Ben Simmons, as well as I would say I don't really know what other advantages that the Cavs have against us that they can exploit against the Knicks. I think both teams are pretty evenly matched, although we've dominated them in the regular season, and playoffs will, show a different side of things. But yeah, I mean, the Knicks, the way that they can minimize their weaknesses, um, we already know they're like a low turnover team and they're a high offensive rebounding team. I think those two things translate really well to playoff success
Yeah.
because those things they grant you extra possessions, and that is like what you need to like really beat teams that are in the playoffs or just teams in general, but like specifically in the playoffs, being able to get those second chance points, Mitch Robinson, you know, Isaiah Hartenstein, Josh Hart, even Emmanuel quickly sometimes gets his hands on some offensive boards. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I would also say, I guess it's not really a real concern, I would say, but like, I guess like teams getting to the rim versus us. But like, I feel fairly confident that guys like Quickly, Grimes, Hart, all those guys, even if you throw Deuce in there for a couple minutes, I think all of them will lock in on the perimeter. So
Wait,
I'm
wait,
not really.
wait. Dean Bushell quickly just came from plus 440 into even money here.
Whoa,
We're
whoa,
back.
whoa, whoa,
We're back.
whoa! Don't get me too excited right now, man.
Don't
Don't get
play
me
with
too
me.
excited.
Don't play with me.
Don't get me too excited, man. I'm about to check
50
these odds right now on FanDuel.
facts.
Cause yo, don't play with me. Don't tell me some more ballots just more some more ballots pulled through.
Dog, this feels like the damn election.
Yo,
We waiting for Pennsylvania. We got the swing state. We got the swing state of the ringers.
oh, my boy's back in the lead. Let's go on FanDuel.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Righteousness
This
wins.
is what I'm talking about.
Shatan can't prevail in Australia. All right,
Oh
shout
my
out to the
goodness.
Aussies. I even know we got Aussie out here. Shout out to the Aussies. Hitting my brain armor real quick.
Nah,
Bang!
what? This is a crazy turn of events.
Woo! This is dead ass the John Cena the Rock meme. We're just fucking WrestleMania. This is great. This is great. Ugh.
This
As
is
you can see,
insane.
at the Strickland, we were a bunch of degenerate gamblers. Uh,
I seriously have $15 invested into this. Okay, so I will be so in. I will be as invested as I can be. Also, it's a Knicks player too. Like that's like even if I
Yeah,
didn't have money on it, I just still would be into it because like I want a Knicks player to win this award. Screw Boston.
it's our award. It's dead
It's
ass like our award.
ours. It's ours. Like screw Boston. Anyways,
Shouts to Bushy.
let's see. So shout out to Dean Bushel for bringing that to our attention. I'm gonna highlight his comment right here.
Bushy,
Um,
Bushy, and Discord. Shouts to Bushy.
Shout out to him.
Um, I guess we can just talk about playoffs at large because like
Yeah, we do have a comment that does address it that I'm
you know,
gonna pull up in just a second.
we don't know what
Um,
7 and 8 is gonna be. I think we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
in the East, yes.
and then I think in the West as well. Did we know 1, 2, 3,
The
4, 5, 6?
West, no, we do not because it all comes down to these
Oh
last
yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
games
right, right.
between the Pelicans and Timberwolves.
That's a filthy ass
OKC.
bracket, bro.
Well, not OKC. OKC, I think is like locked in
Yeah,
at
no,
10,
yeah. OKC's locked into 10,
but
and Timberwolves locked into 9, I believe.
they're locked into 9. Are they?
Ah,
I
no, no,
don't.
no, 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 no,
They're
no.
not.
But they can't. Well, no, because they
They
can't
might
catch.
be.
They're locked
Let
into
me
the
see.
play-in. They're locked into the play-in because they can't.
Yeah, they're
They
locked
can't
into the
get.
plan, but 5 through 8 can change. So
Yes,
Clippers, Warriors, Lakers, Pelicans can all shift around. But
yes.
I think either way, a California team will be playing Phoenix in the first round. So that's like
Uh,
automatic.
yeah. So, and the East is locked. The
East
East
is
is locked.
locked 1 through 10, right?
Yes, you 1 through 10.
Yep,
Because
East is locked
I
one
think
through
all the games are
ten.
locked.
It was locked, I think, since last game. But yeah, it's Miami versus Atlanta in Miami, and then Toronto versus Chicago in Toronto.
WWE, by the way, DeRozan going back to
Back to
Toronto.
Toronto. And then Miami Atlanta is a rematch of what last year's first round series.
Yes,
That's insane.
which is disgusting for both those teams. The
The
fall
whole
is
East is WWE because Cleveland versus New York, like, come on. The
that's
whole
scripted.
year that was
That's scripted.
scripted. We were jacking this since like the beginning of the year. We're like, yo, it's gonna be crazy when like Cleveland versus New York in the first round, and here it is.
Yeah. Yep. Boston versus potentially Miami, so a rematch of ECF.
Like so
Oh,
much
what?
WWE.
Okay, so assuming that like standings hold, it'd be 1 versus 8. So Bucks versus Hawks was the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. Celtics versus Heat would be the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Philly versus Nets. So James Harden versus his old team.
With, like no one there from the last
Yeah,
time he was there.
which is hilarious. Like that's just kind of the throwaway series. Nobody really cares about it. Um, and then it would be Cavaliers versus Knicks, which is obviously the Donovan Mitchell Super Bowl. Uh, Assuming again standings holds, Nuggets versus Pelicans. No real story there. Just kind of like can
Memphis
the
versus Minnesota could be a fun rematch of last
that
year's first
it
round
wouldn't
series.
be fun. It would just be
It,
disappointing as hell because
yeah,
that
you'd be like,
series
oh
last
man,
year was so.
these two dumbasses are facing each other again.
That series last year pissed me off because they should have like if the Timberwolves were smart, they win that in 5, and they just kept tossing game after game. To like then again, that series is the reason why Gobert is on the Wolves. So we'll see what difference Gobert has. Um, that series might go 7. I
What?
feel like
Timberwolves versus Grizzlies?
I think that series goes 7.
Sadly, because like there's gonna be like 3 games where like the other team should have won and took a commanding lead, and they're gonna mess it up.
Yeah, that and it's also like the Grizzlies are missing Steven Adams, which is huge. John Morant might get incarcerated mid-series.
Oh wow.
The way he's been threatening teenagers, we don't know. They
He
might
went
hit
to
him with a
therapy for like 3 days. He's good.
they might hit him with a RICO charge. I
He
don't
went to
know, man.
rehab for 3 days. He's good.
All right, Amy Winehouse. Um, I was referencing the song, but yeah. So that seems like it would be a good series because it would just be hilarious to watch. Um, what am I saying? It'll be Grizzlies Lakers if it holds. What do I think? Timberwolves are ninth.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I was thinking about like if the Timberwolves somehow make their way to 7.
yeah, that could.
Grizzlies Lakers would be interesting because I feel like the Lakers win that. I
I
feel
mean, the
like
play-in games alone are kind of WWE with the Lakers versus Pelicans, the way it's set up right now. Like that's the Anthony
yeah,
Davis series right there.
that's deciding. Oh, not to mention. Oh man, I hope if the Lakers lose and that series isn't and that game is in New Orleans, WWE.
Like that would be special. I would watch that. And then Timberwolves, Thunder, not in there, but it would just be good hoops. And then Pelicans, Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So that would be a good series.
Kings first playoff game is gonna be crazy.
Kings' first playoff game against the Warriors.
It's gonna be crazy no matter who they face, just like because they haven't been in the playoffs since like
they're gonna win that game one off emotion. Cause
or they're like all gonna just like shit themselves. Like we saw in the Knicks series 2 years ago when Alec Burks had to almost save us.
Dog.
Shout out Alec Burks, 27 points in the.
If he catches the damn ball off of Bogdan Bogdanovich's goddamn knee, dude. If he just gets the steal, we're up 3 with less than a minute. We win that game. I'm still pissed about that. I watched that game and I cut it off, and the Garden was rocking, bro. I quickly hit that 3, started jumping, crowd was into it. Trae Young chance was going, and then he just fumbles the steal. Imagine that series was 2-0 heading to Atlanta. One can dream.
One can dream.
Whatever. We'll get it back. We'll get it back in blood this season.
Oh, yes, we will. All right. So Jordan Bob, I guess he asked us about the playoffs in general. He says, will we see a sweep in the playoffs or any playoff upsets? I mean, if the Knicks beat the Cavs, that's technically an upset. Because we are the 5th seed. I think that is a potential playoff upset that can happen. As for the rest of the bracket, I mean, most of the bracket in the West hasn't settled, but I could see some upsets in the West.
I think the Kings lose first round. I feel like you can pencil that in. Kings lose first round.
Depending on who Denver faces, they could lose first round.
If Denver gets like the Lakers,
that could be a real tough series.
I take the Lakers.
Even if they get the Warriors first round, I think Warriors could take them out.
But yeah, like it's the Warriors. Hell, I mean, I don't think the Clippers could drop that far, but like
I think they can.
Clippers would have to lose a play-in game, I think.
Yeah,
they had to be in the play-in.
That's possible. They lost the play-in last year.
True. But then again, Paul George was hurt, so then again, it's Kawhi.
Anything is possible with that bottom half of the West right now. So like, literally, I like Denver. Depending on who they get, they can lose in the first round.
Yeah.
Memphis, they might get out of the first round. I don't know. Maybe if they play like the Lakers or something, they might lose.
I think the Kings.
Like it's so hard to pick some stuff out in the West just because like
we don't know.
Nothing is settled until like 5:30.
Yeah.
6 o'clock tonight. Like we won't know anything. So
I think if the Suns get the Warriors, though, I think the Warriors are handling the Suns.
Possibly. I mean, if Andrew Wiggins comes back and he's himself, then yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be good to see. And if the Suns lose first round, ooh, that Kevin Durant slander is gonna be. Ooh, I'm gonna be right there with him. I'm gonna have to get in the burner for that one. That'll be fun. But yeah, like that'll be.
But yeah, I mean, in the East though, I mean, if we look at the East right now.
Oh, Theo and Franklin back-to-back threes, making a 7-point game. All right. If they win this game, though, I need it.
In the East, I really don't see any upsets. I mean, I would love for Miami to face Boston and maybe give them a challenge. If things hold up. But yeah, I don't think I see any upsets in the first round for the East. I mean, the Knicks would be the only upset that I would predict because we are technically the lower seed in that situation. But yeah.
Wait, what are the live odds? What are the live odds so quickly right now?
They were at -125 just a minute ago. I'm checking again.
Did they spike back?
Let me check. He's still at -125 on FanDuel.
What? Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be a photo finish. Yeah, so that surge was kind of just like probably money being put into the market then.
Yep, exactly.
So somebody put money on Brogdon.
or a lot of somebody's put a lot of money on Brogdon. And the
I think a lot of
market-
people are just like hedging their bets right now.
Oh wow, that is. I've never seen this before. I've legitimately never seen this in a race before, because usually races are decided pretty early. This is probably the closest race in like recent memory. Like the MVP race isn't as close as this because I feel like everybody kind of has given it to Embiid already.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think the market has given it to Embiid especially. So, oh, it'll be good. It'll be fun to see.
Well, I mean, the regular season's over now. There's nothing else left for these guys to prove.
True.
Hopefully voters. I'm gonna check right now this spreadsheet that has all the
I don't think it's updated.
things. It hasn't updated. It's updated for MVP a little bit, and you're seeing Joel Embiid start to pull away a little bit. But it still has just 2 votes for Brogdon that have been here the entire time.
Jalen Rose voted for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right, I guess.
This is so weird. Dude, like that Pena bracket, that Pena ballot is wild.
Man, Pena should not be allowed to vote again.
Draymond Green for Defensive Player of the Year. Like
him, so guys like him, John Hollinger, like they should not be allowed to vote on any type of award.
Wait, John Hollinger has an official bracket or official ballot?
He had an article out, and like his reasoning for quickly was like, of course, the whole starting bullshit. But then he brought up later in his ballot that Tyus Jones, because he was able to step in for Ja Morant, he should get like some 6 Man of the Year consideration and shit like that. It was like, all right, like you clearly have a bias against the Knicks. He didn't include Julius, I think, on his All NBA. He didn't even include Brunson in his honorable mentions for All NBA. So screw him. He's a bald loser. Bald people seem to like really hate the Knicks. I don't know what the Knicks did to bald people to like really make them upset with them, but
damn, I gotta think about this now. Who? John Hollinger,
Bondi,
Berman. No, Berman just likes being a troll. He doesn't even hate the Knicks.
I mean, like the leader of the Knicks is a bald person. You should be able to relate with them. Like, why do you hate the Knicks so much? They have one of your own. Like, I don't get it. Like the disconnect is missing me.
Wow. Yep. So quickly is -125. Brogdon is -110. Oh, this race is gonna take years off my life. I already hate it.
Definitely is, especially since I have cash tied to it.
All right, man.
All right. I think we can end here. I mean, I think we talked about as much as we could have, given the circumstances. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in. Last day of the regular season, a meaningless game in April right before the playoffs. Our young guys got to go off, all that good shit, even though we lost. Didn't matter. When's the last time we were able to say that in a positive way? We'll be back for the playoffs for the first time in Strickland Rundown history. Because last season, of course, we didn't get to talk about playoffs. We were miserable. But this year we will be back for playoffs. We don't know when game 1 is announced, or do we know when game 1 is announced?
We don't know. I think we'll find out later today after like everything's finalized.
Okay. So we'll be back for the playoffs.
Theo Pinson triple-double.
Seriously?
He's close.
Dog, what were the... Yeah, quickly just jumped again to -155.
Yes!
I'm watching it like change right now, right before my eyes.
Tell you, this is our presidential election.
It really is. Knicks fans are
is-
going to be like watching this like a hawk.
Brogdon is fucking Donald Trump.
Yo. Theo Pinson really is about to have a triple-double. This is insane.
Wait,
Last year regular season is always like
the best
insanity.
hoops. It's the best hoops.
It would have been the best hoops if like these sports books could have put out fucking lines for people. I would have bet like all the types of BS that you could think of today.
Like, bro, like last year when John Contra had a triple-double the last game of the season, like you should be able to bet on that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like sports books, they should put out everything. Just like everything flies last day of the regular season. Because you never know what's gonna happen.
Like you would probably make more money if you just let people bet.
Yeah, because like people just bet all the stupid shit. And like when it doesn't happen, you get all their cash. But like the rare occurrences of like shit like this, motherfuckers, they make money off of you, and it sucks for you, but hey, people make some money, so that's a good thing.
Also,
Uh,
shout outs to the fucking Clippers being down 5 to the Suns who are arresting people.
and they're like playing all their guys, right?
Yeah,
All right,
Jock Landale's giving them the business right now.
classic, classic Clippers. Classic.
Timberwolves have sent Rudy Gobert home after Gobert threw punch at teammate Hal Anderson. WWE.
What? I was just about to end the stream.
Oh man, this is great. This is great. You traded 5 picks for a guy you just sent home. Trey Young is tweeting regular season checkmark. Postseason is here. If you even make it, big bro.
Bro, if you even make it, like I hate like him and Shay. Like Shay posted this like deep ass Instagram post. It's like, bro, you made the play-in as a 10th seed. Like, can you just like make the regular postseason before you like start going on this like receipts tour? Like, I don't know. That's just me though. Anyways, I think we'll end here as Theo Pinson's about to have a triple double and Rudy Gobert got sent home. Happy last day of the regular season, everyone, where insanity happens in the NBA. Make sure you check out everything Strickland related in the description. We got links to the site, merch, Patreon, and Twitter. All great ways to support us. We're also on Instagram, as you see on the corner of your screen right there, at thestrick.land. Make sure you check out everything Strickland related in the description. The merch. We got the Quickland merch. Y'all have been asking for this forever. We have delivered. It is here. Make sure you guys order it. Make sure you get it in time before playoffs. Going to be great to wear at MSG or whatever, bar that you're at watching the playoffs. They'll definitely ask you, where did you get that fire hoodie from? And you'll be able to tell them from the Strickland. So definitely check out that. We also got the Immaculate Vibes Brunson collection. Check that out. Great stuff. Celebrating, the best Knicks point guard since Walt Clyde Frazier. So make sure y'all check out all that in the description. We'll be back for playoffs. We will decide whether we will have a playoff preview stream. We'll see how that goes. If not, we will catch you guys after game 1. And yeah, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys.